Hi everyone, Janie here, and today is the first in a three-part series on recycling your jeans or upcycling your jeans. And today we are going to make a little purse. And here's one that's already made. I got a little braided handle on this one, and it was made out of a pocket. And it is the perfect size for a cell phone. Just slide that right in there, and then you can slide in your chapstick, your credit cards, and if you're like me and you have a big cell phone, guess what? Here it is. I have a huge cell phone, and it also fits nicely and holds my credit cards and my chapstick, which is sometimes all I need when I'm going out, especially if it's like an event where I don't want to have a big old purse with me, and I don't need a big old purse with me. So we're going to make one similar to this, but a little bit different. So let's head on over to the craft table and get started. The first thing I did was cut a pocket off a pair of jeans. So obviously this is the back pocket. And when making little purses, I like to leave a 1/2 inch of denim up here at the top instead of cutting it straight across the top of the pocket. And I'll show you why later, but that's what you're going to need. And I also use this really pretty lace covered burlap, and I've already cut a piece to the size that I'm going to need. And what we're going to do next is obviously not on the pretty lace side, so we're going to turn it over, and we're going to glue the back of the pocket with Fabri-Tac so that we don't have to do any sewing on this project. And we're going to glue that onto the burlap and get it positioned nicely. Don't worry about this excess. We're going to be trimming any excess off after it's been glued on. And when you cut your piece, you want to make sure that you have enough for a flap for the length that you want. And this is the length that I chose. I'm going to be, cutting it to a different shape in a little bit. But it's always better to have a little too much than not enough. So make sure that you have it where you want it before you cut it, whether it's this burlap or whatever you're using. And by the way, I got this burlap at Walmart for about $3. And I also got another roll of it on Amazon.com. So you should be able to find this if you like it. Okay, so right now we're going to put some Fabri-Tac on the back. I don't have the opening cut very big because sometimes I want it for smaller projects and I just don't want a lot of glue coming out. So sorry if my arm gets in the way. I'm not really strong, and so I really have to use both hands. And we're not going to be putting this all over. We're just going to go around the edges. I mean, you can add some in the middle if you want, but I'm not going to be doing that. Once you have the amount of Fabri-Tac on here that you are satisfied with, I'm trying to pick this up to give you an idea of what I put on there. So around the edges, once you're satisfied with that, you're going to lay it down on this burlap and make sure that it's pushed down really good so that it adheres solidly. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to press the side as well. Should have had my craft mat under here because it is squeezing out through the burlap. But don't worry about that. Okay, I'm going to clean up my mess and we're going to let this dry. And then I'll show you what I did next. Now that it's dry, I'm going to trim off the excess. So let me grab my scissors here. Okay, and that is done. And the next thing I need to do is figure out how I'm going to be trimming the front. You can leave it straight across or whatever, but that's not what I'm doing. And I have this wonderful ruler. It's a Tim Holtz, and I don't know if you can see it. Let me turn it this way, actually. It has a 0 in the middle, and then it goes either direction, so you can actually center what you're doing. And then the other side is a regular ruler. I love this thing, and it's clear. You can see through it. And so first thing I'm going to do, and actually I've already done it, but I'm going to show you, is I'm going to find the center. And with this, it's 2 3/4 off each side. So there's the center. And I just marked it with a pencil. And then on the sides are about, well, let's get this going the right direction here. The sides are 3 3/4 inches. So I decided I wanted to go up 1 3/4 inches and put a mark. And I did that on each side so that I have my starting point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut from there to the center and from there to the center. And that's going to create the little flap that I want. So let me just do that really quick here. Okay, that's one side. And that's the other side. And so there's my flap. The next thing I'm going to do is I picked out this pink lacy ruffled trim, and I'm going to put that around the edges. And I'm actually going to start at the point because that's going to be covered up later, and so nobody's going to notice. And I'm going to put this on the same way as I attached the pocket to the burlap, using my Fabri-Tac. And it's a long process that I'm not going to make you wait through, but I'm just going to show you right now that I'm going to go around the edge, around here. I'll be flipping it over, going down the back and over, back up the other side, and back around to the point. So you will see that completed when I get back. I'm not done yet, but I wanted to come back for a second just so you can see that the way to put this on is to actually lay your purse out flat. I wasn't showing you that before. I was kind of pulling it over the edges and stuff, but you just lay it out flat, and then you just do one section at a time. So first I did to here, and then I did to here, and next I'll be doing down here on the bottom. So I just wanted to share that part with you. Next, I'm going to add some pretty pink ribbon to match the pink lace trim, and I'm going to put it on exactly the same way. So I'm going to be using Fabri-Tac, and I'm going to start in the front, and I'm just going to work my way around. And again, this is a long process, so I'm going to do it off camera, and then I'll be right back. Well, I have the ribbon on, so what else is there left to do? Well, there's a lot of decorating that can be done. Right now, the only thing I know for sure that I'm doing is I'm going to be attaching that right there. I wish I could tell you more about this, but it was part of a make and take I did at the Scrapbook Expo last year, and I took it off the project the other day because I thought it would look perfect on here. But it is just gorgeous. And to make the purse close, I'm going to use Velcro. And Velcro, this self-adhesive stuff, needs to sit 24 hours before it reaches a good strength. So I don't want to mess with it after I put it on. So we'll put this on, and then I'm going to put that on, and then we're just going to let it sit. So first thing I need to do is peel the back off. And actually I need to peel the back off of both of these. So hold on a second because I'm going to attach them. Okay, so they're attached to each other now. We've got the front and the back. So we know that they're going to be together. And I'm going to attach it right under here. And since they're together, they'll be perfect. And I just need to find where I think that the center is. This is easier to do, and I'm not trying to make sure you guys can see it. Okay, so now we're not going to mess with that. But I am going to glue this on, and I'm still using Fabri-Tac because this is fabric and that's fabric, so this will help make sure it sticks on nicely. It's so nice to not have to sew anything. This Fabri-Tac is amazing. Okay, let me make sure I can get this centered right where I want it. Let me look underneath here to make sure it's on there. You know, it might have been easier to do this before I added the Velcro, but that's okay. There we go. So we're going to let this sit for 24 hours. And I'll make sure it's exactly where I want it there. Okay, we're going to let it sit for 24 hours. And then we'll be back and see if I've decided what else I want to do to it. Everything is dry. The Velcro works. So this is what we have so far. Now you can stop here or you can go further. And one of the things I'm contemplating doing, I'm not sure if I am or not before the end of this video, but I'm thinking about it. I have these pearls, and I'm thinking about attaching them right along the edge all the way around. Let me see if I can get it up there. So kind of like that. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do, but I'm not sure yet. But I am sure that it's time to make a handle if you would like a handle. And here's the handle. It's not completed yet, but this is what I've cut out so far. It's the whole length of the inseam of a pair of jeans. And I'm going to take some pink ribbon and I'm going to put it all down the center. I thought that would be a nice touch. It's the same pink ribbon that is on the pocket. And let me show you how I did this, if you're wondering how I got it so straight. So first of all, I cut it with pinking shears. So we're going to start there. But I got it straight by using this blue tape. It's like masking tape, only it's called painter's tape. It doesn't stick as difficultly. I mean, it's easy to put on, easy to take off. So I used that, and what I did was, I can't get all this in the camera, so we're just going to show you a little bit here. I went along a seam, and I placed the tape evenly along the seam of the jeans. And then what I did, like I said, I put it all the way up the inseam. I used my pinking shears and I cut along this side. And then after that was done, I could remove the tape and use the pinking shears to cut right along the seam. And it was that easy. I thought it was going to be complicated until I came up with that idea. And so that's where we're at right now. And I'm going to go put the pink ribbon on here, and I'll be right back. While we're waiting for the handle to dry, we are going to prepare this for the handle, and that is why I had said that you want to leave about a 1/2 inch of the denim above here. It makes it sturdier to hold the handle. And I've already gone in and marked in with my pencil a 1/2 inch from each end, so they're nice and even there. And I'm going to use my Imagineif eye punch, which is a 6-hole punch. So I have a variety here, and I picked the size that's going to work right for the little eyelets that I'm going to use. So let's see here. Let me stick this in. Get it where that hole is. And this takes all my muscle. There we go. Now getting it out. Okay. I'll do the other side. Right where I have the little mark. That way they're both on in the same area on both sides. And I just need to be stronger, let me tell you. Okay, so I'll set that aside, and you'll see that we have a hole on each side. It goes all the way through. And now I'm going to take my little eyelet. I'm going to stick it in so that the pretty part of the eyelet is on the outside. And hopefully I did the right size hole. Tell you what, I'll be right back as soon as I figure that out. Okay, it was the right size. It was just really snug to get in there, and actually that's how you want it. You don't want it loose. So I've got it in there. I got them both in there, and this one I already flattened out. And for that I have my We Are Memory Keepers Crocodile, and I have it all set. So this is an eyelet setter, and I'm going to line it up on this just right. Make sure I have both sides just right. Hold on one second. It looks good. And squash it. And there we go. So now we have the 2 holes. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in. They're little key rings. You can use a little bit bigger size than this if you want. But again, that's going to be hard for me to do on camera because I'm going to be, messing with the thumbnail and getting it up close. So I'm going to go put these in, and I'll be right back. We all know what a pain it is to even put a key on one of these, so but I got them on there. And now here's my strap, and I'm going to make a loop at the end and put a rivet through. So I'm going to be using my hole punch again, and then we're going to put little rivets in the ends so that we can hook them to these, which I don't know if they're called carabiners, whatever they are. They're the little things that do this. There we go. And so that's what we're going to do next. And to make sure that the holes are in the right place, I'm going to do it at the same, like fold it over and punch the holes at the exact same time so that I have it where I want it, but I want to make sure I leave plenty of room to hook it on here. So let's get this out. And I think right about there should be good. I didn't have my little thing on the back. on a second here. See if I can repeat that in the exact same hole. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Now it went all the way through. And I think I made it the right size for this to fit through. And I did! Yay! Look at that. And this is the other side of the rivet, which is going to go on here. Now, I need to hammer it on, and I have dogs, and when they hear that, they're going to start barking. So I'm going to shut the camera off, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other end. I'm going to fold it over. It's about 1.5 inches. You know, maybe even 1 inch would have worked, but about that much. And then just kind of poke the hole, not halfway, but you know, maybe about 1/2 inch from the end, from this end. So I'll be right back. And the handle is done. Got the little rivet in there on each end. And now we can hook the handle onto the little carabiners, or whatever they're called. I'm sorry, I've heard them called both ways, and I'm just not quite sure what to make of it. So, and now these hook on to those little key rings. Make sure I've got the handle going straight all the way around. And there you go. Your little purse is done and ready to go. And I just love making these. I have more than one. It was fun making this one because it's pink and it's my favorite color. And I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I may be back in a minute because I just might try putting those pearls on there. We shall see. Well, that was fun and easy. And look, I decided to put those pearls on. Didn't that come out nice? It was the perfect thing to add. So now you know how to make a purse out of a pocket from your jeans. It's just a great way to recycle or upcycle. And also they make great gifts for a teenager, a preteen, actually anyone, because I'm nowhere near that age and I have them. But they are just great gifts, and you can add so much to them and just create a work of art of your own. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to come back next week for part 2 of this series and see what else we're going to make out of a pair of jeans. Bye-bye and happy crafting.